Okay, so today we are looking at, I think it's POCO's newest budget kind of smartphone. Yeah, it's the POCO C40 right here, POCO C40. And from what I can tell, here at least in Canada, now the prices will vary depending on where you live. This is a phone, brand new, that comes in between like $200 and $300. At least that's what I can kind of find by pretending that I actually want to go buy it. So today what we're going to do is take a look at kind of the specs on POCO's website. Then we're going to crack open the box, see what it comes with, give it an initial start, and run it through a couple speed tests. Okay, let's do that. Okay, my friends, so here it is, a POCO C40, 6.71 inch display, 6,000 milliamp battery, a 13 megapixel dual camera, octa-core processor. Here you go, same rear fingerprint scanner, that's kind of nice. What else do we have here? Gorilla Glass, yeah. So here's specs on the battery. You should get about 32 hours of calling, 86 hours of music, 20 hours of video playback, 17 hours of navigation. It comes with, I believe, it comes with an 18-watt fast charger. Now, some of their higher-end phones, of course, come with much faster, but this is budget. You know, like I said, $200 to $300. Like in 2022, like spending under $300 for a brand new phone, pretty amazing, right? This is their processor. It's a 2 gigahertz. It's a CPU clock speed. Looks like it's the JR510. 13 megapixel, a dual camera, so I'm guessing it is possibly a zoom and a wide. I don't know. We'll take a look. So 13 megapixel main camera, there we go. And what does it say on the front? Or maybe it's just one front, one back. Front camera AI beauty mode, right? Both 13 megapixels, it looks like. Young dynamic design, and it looks like 3 colors, black, this kind of, it says coral green, and the yellow. We've seen the yellow before. The yellow seems to be a POCO color. High power speakers, fingerprint on the back. That's different because they've usually, I believe, gone on the side, so that's kind of nice. And memory extension, yep, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, still has a headphone jack, FM radio, and is running MIUI 13. And you guys, I'll put links down to POCO's website if you guys are interested. You can go see all the main specs. All right, this is the phone. There's the box, right? POCO C40. POCO C40. That's kind of it. That's all. POCO C40. All right. And again, I haven't opened this before, as you guys can see here. So we are gonna do a, man, I got all kinds of boxes that I gotta clean up. We are gonna do some speed tests just to get some base, and you can put that up against your own phone that you're maybe currently running, or look at some other phones that maybe you were considering and see what their numbers are. That's upside down. There we go. What do we get here? So we get a phone. Yep, we'll look at that in a minute. Look at that in a second. We get a phone. We get a cable. So this is going to be, if I slide it out here, USB-C to USB-A, nice and long, which is good. See, they always send me these because they don't know where it's going necessarily. So I get the European one, not overly useful for me, but you still get 18 watts, right? That's all right. And I believe that's kind of it. Now in here, you get a SIM card removal tool, which is good. You get your manual and stuff like that, right? So lots of information, well packaged. Complaints? Not at all. You know what? Again, for under $300, I actually think it may be closer to, I think it may be closer to the $200 mark. But just to be safe and sound, it's floating in between those two. So, all right. So we'll take this off. Ah, that is nice. That is a nice size phone, I have to say. And there's your backing, right? POCO. So it does look like it actually looks like there may be 2 or 3 cameras on there. It says AI dual camera. Maybe it just automatically switches between them. Possibly. There's your front-facing camera, of course. It's got a textured. You guys maybe see almost like a textured back, which is nice for grip for sure. And I like that size. It's very, if you look at it this way, it's very like widescreen, right? Which that's cool. All right, so let's turn it on, shall we? First boot. Here it comes. POCO. I don't know how much battery I have. It may be some, it may be none. I don't know. Hopefully there's some in it. If not, well, we've got a charger. We can plug it in. And first boot, right? What do you expect? Happen in real time, because I think it's important for you guys to kind of know what you're looking at, especially if you're getting this phone, the C40. And I think just while we're here, I think the other phone that I have right now that we'll be taking a look at is I can't remember if it's the F4 GT or the F4, but one of those two. So there you go, MIUI. It might be the F4 GT, and I could be 100% wrong. All right, so the boot up, not super fast, but again, it is a brand new device. So I'm gonna go through this English. Yeah, that's fine. I wonder if there's English, Australia, United States. Yeah, let's do English, United States. Even though I'm in Canada, that's fine. Yeah, choose your region, Canada. Yep. Terms and conditions. Yes, I've read it. I haven't, but I read it. Checking for SIM card. I'm going to say skip this because I don't have a SIM card in it. And so oops. Skip this step. Yeah, I'm just going to get past it. And then I'm going to connect to my network. So let's just do this. Authenticating. I think I put in the right password. Time has been connected. Sweet. Next. Getting your phone ready. This may take a few minutes. Okay, so as far as this part, really, you know what, if you have 5 minutes, you can get it here. Now, I would say that the following steps are going to be like logging into Google and downloading all your apps, etc., etc. So we'll see. Now, I have a bunch of other Android phones that I use on occasion, and I'm curious because I'm not a huge Android user, but I do enjoy seeing what's out there, especially if you are, or just seeing what's out there in regards to especially budget phones. I'm curious if it knows some of the apps that I've downloaded, especially some of the benchmarks, because really that's what I'm looking at downloading. So we'll get those to come down as soon as we can. I'll skip forward for you for this guide, just so you don't have to hang out. All right, so it does have, see here, a copy apps and data. You can choose to transfer your apps, phone, contacts, Google account, and more. So I'm hoping that it can do this. So, what does it say? A backup from an Android phone. Use your old phone to copy data wirelessly. A backup from the cloud. Well, let's try this backup from Google, because if it does, that just makes it a lot easier. So we'll see if this functions. I'll be right back. All right, it does say it's getting account info after I logged in. So if you do have or are doing this, make sure that you have, like I have two-step authentication turned on, so just make sure that your other phone is handy so that you can authenticate this phone with that phone, if that makes sense. Yeah, let's try that one. Confirm your old POCO X3 Pro screen lock. Oh, I think I have to remember what my number was. I think it was that. Choose what to restore. Apps, contacts, device. Yep, do it all. Because I don't use it very much, so there shouldn't be much there. You can continue setting up your Google services. Yep. Continue setup. Yep. Just a sec. Now, my guess is this is the part that's going to take a while. So, again, because it's restoring from my old phone, this process for me, is going to be completely different based on how much is actually coming across. So I'm going to let this go, and we'll be back when it's done. All right. Okay, so it's in the process, but it did come up and ask if I wanted to set a screen lock, and I'm going to say yes. So I want to do a fingerprint. Add your fingerprint. Now, as far as I can tell, I think right, you guys see that right there? I think I'll get the light right there. That's the fingerprint scanner. So I'm gonna set a pin. Yep. Remember your password. Yep. I'm with you. Okay, so password is in because it makes you do that, and then add your fingerprint. So we're simply just gonna right there. Yep, that's it. You guys can see it. Okay. Now, because it's kind of flush with the back of the phone, I find that they used to have it on one of the, like, I think it was like this button on your power button or your volume button, one of the two, I can't remember. And it's just easier to locate back here. You probably would after you've done it a few times, but because it's flush back there, you kind of have to figure out where it is. But it took it really fast, right? It took it really fast. I'm going to check to see if there's any firmware updates. I'm going to let it actually go through and download all the apps, and again, we'll be right back. Okay, so we've done all of the updates. Downloaded all the software that I think I need. So first off, just so you guys are aware, just moving around the phone is fine, right? And always remember this phone really is, I would say, POCO's most budget phone out there, and you can see all the apps that I have on there now, right? So it's all in there. If I open a web browser, for instance, you can see it's not like instantaneous. It is not the fastest phone by any means, but once you're in there, and you can even see once it loads, it's fine. There's still a little bit of stutter I'm even finding in here, right? Until it fully loads, but usable, sure. And if you do this, where you go back, sometimes you actually see it come up and say it's like it's thinking. So even moving from the app back to the home screen, there can be like almost like a thinking phase. Next for me really is like the camera. And to be honest, here's the camera here. As far as I can tell, even though it looks like there's multiple cameras, when you're in the camera app itself, so if I'm in photo, for instance, really, if you even go in settings, there's not much there. I think it's, like I said, I think it's 13 megapixels. That's, I think, front and rear. So if I take a picture here of me, it's got good face detection. You guys may be able to see it. It's good face detection. And we'll do just a normal photo. So click. Hit the right button might be useful. Click. And you guys may be able to see that, right? A decent little bit of overexposure, but detail in the beard and stuff like that, that's good. And that's with the front facing camera, not too much noise or anything like that, which is nice. If we go into portrait mode, same idea. Let's just see if there is a portrait mode. So we'll just kind of get close there, kind of go into portrait mode. Is there anything that you can play with? I don't even know. But it definitely has, like, there's definitely some blur back there. You guys hopefully can see it. So it's blurring it out. It's got a decent cutout. It's not perfect, but again, as you can see, like in the hairline, it's not perfect by any means, but useful. It does decent. Going into video mode, you guys, you may be able to see here. I'll just do a quick. This again is the this way facing camera. You guys can see it here. I'll just record something just super simple, nothing overly fancy, and then if I play it back here for you, it's fine. This way facing camera, you guys can see it here. I'll just record something just super simple, nothing overly fancy. Is it better than all the cameras out there? No, but it's fine. It's in video mode. You have 720p 30 and I think 1080p 30. That's it. That's all you got, right? So as far as cameras, decent. Even in video, as far as I can tell, there's no like optical or image stabilizer or anything like that. It just is what it is. If you go into like pro mode, there's no raw or anything like that I could see. It's got some filters, it's got different focus, but other than that, you don't have a lot. There's kind of what your options are, even in pro mode, right? So, you know, it does the trick, especially if maybe you're getting this for like a young kid, or you're getting this as a backup phone, or you're getting this, you know, for someone older that it's maybe they're just like, you know what, I just need a phone. I don't want to spend a lot of money. I need a phone. Then okay. Games wise, if you're looking at playing games, I downloaded one game. Here it is, Asphalt 8. You guys will be able to see it, and I'll crank the volume up a little bit too, just so you guys can hear it. The screen's at full brightness. Where am I here? Right over here. It's okay. It's not, again, it's not the greatest by any means. You know, you can tell that there's some frame dropouts and things like that. Hopefully you guys can get an idea. Don't care. Right, next, yes, sure, whatever. Too many buttons here. Getting all kinds of weird rewards. I'll get into gameplay for you. Just one sec. All right, so I think I'm ready here. We'll go back to career. Yep, do this one, and I'm just gonna play a second, like a little bit, just so you guys can see like the frame rate. And here it is loading up. Because, and if you guys want me to do any other tests, let me know on this phone, and we can do them possibly in a future video. But speaker wise, it's good. It only comes out of the bottom. There's no like stereo sound. It's only bottom facing. Okay. Now this is a, you know, you have to lean, so we'll see how that works. But the stereo, like the speakers are decent. I'm okay with that. All right. Yeah, and it's okay. Definitely playable, right? Seems somewhat smooth. The response time is okay. Again, this isn't a super graphic intensive game by any means, but you guys should get the idea of that it at least has some playability. And if you're someone that is, I'm going to turn the volume down. If you're someone that, you know, is not even playing games like this, like I'll give you for example, like my wife, she plays like puzzle games. So is it going to be fine for that? Yeah, 100%, right? If you're someone that plays the occasional game, you know, uses this phone for social media, uses this phone for taking just some pictures, and you're just like, it's got a camera, awesome. Or you're someone that, you know, is for email and stuff like that, chatting. Yeah, it's great, right? So there you go. Gives you an idea. Just close that so we make sure that the phone has all the power it can. Now, we're gonna just run some quick some quick benchmarks, and I'm gonna just show you them launch. So we'll start off with Geekbench, and then we'll just kind of go to the results so you guys don't have to sit here and watch. So right now we're gonna run the CPU benchmark. So run CPU. This is on Geekbench, so you can see it start right there. And we'll come back with the results. Now, the bonus is you'll see the results, and then you guys can go check that against your phone or any other phone that you're looking at that's possible, and see if they have Geekbench results, so that you can put it up against it. But we'll be right back so you can hopefully get an idea of what Geekbench will give you. Okay, so this one's getting close. Now, I was going to run 4 different benchmarks. But I think I'm only going to run 2/3. Geekbench, we're going to do 2 benchmarks inside it, so the CPU as well as the compute. And then we're going to run 3D Mark, so we can get some 3D benchmarks. And those really, in my opinion, are probably 2 of the most used benchmarks out there. So, and you can even see on this, right, structure from motion. This phone, definitely not a powerhouse. It's not, you have to know that when you're buying it, for sure. So we're just gonna wait for this to finish that last 10%, and then we'll do the compute. Okay, so finished the number 1 part. That was the CPU. And as you can tell, not super strong. You're looking at single core of 167, multi-core coming at 594. So put that up against just about anything, and you'll see why we were staggering a little bit. All right, so let's go back here. Again, you have those 2 numbers, 167, 594. We're gonna go back and we're gonna run the compute here. So we'll come back and we'll do run compute benchmark, and same idea. We'll let this keep going and we'll come back when we have the result. Okay, so that one finished. Benchmark results. Geekbench score for the compute, 517. Again, not fantastic, but depends what you need a phone for, right? So last benchmark we're going to do, I'm going to close out of this. So we will close this, make sure that we have nothing else running here. So we're going to do 3D Mark, and we may do another one, but we'll do 3D Mark right now because I said we were. And we're going to do the Slingshot Extreme because that's the one I've downloaded. So we're going to hit play right there, turn this on its side, and I would say right off the bat you're going to see some stuttering in how the graphic plays, so how the rendering plays, because it just can't process it fast enough, right? So you'll actually see here, it's just like, I'll get there. Frame rate, not great. But again, you guys get an idea. I'm going to let this run, and then we'll come back, show you the scores. And I think I might have one more test. Okay, so it just finished. Slingshot Extreme. We got a 610, and you guys didn't get to see it, but there were some times where the frame rate wasn't bad in regards to simple like 3D screen renderings. It wasn't like really bad. It did it. When it got to anything complex, I saw frame rates drop down to as low as like 1.5 frames per second. So you'll see here, right? Graphics score, test 1, 3.6. Graphic test 2, 1.6 frames per second. Physics score, there you go. If you're looking at this for gaming, it's probably not the phone, right? So close that. And then last but not least, we'll do PC Mark. And inside PC Mark, we're just going to do, again, because a lot of us will just use this possibly like for work and just basic like day-to-day functionality. So they have this work performance here. I'm going to just run this, and you guys will be able to see. This will go through a series of tests that you and I would normally do day-to-day, like web browsing and photo things, etc., etc. So it gives you an idea of its functionality in that aspect. So you'll see it do web browsing right now. So it's doing its stuff. You and I are just gonna sit here and wait for it to finish. Okay, guys. So there it is. 5232 work performance score. So you know what? I think, and again, I don't know what a good number for that is and a bad number is for this one. It's the first time I've actually ran this test. But I do think if you're using this as like a work phone, or like I said, just as a home phone, then it's probably fine. If you're using this and expecting to be able to play all the games that are out there and be able to do all kinds of like maybe like video editing and all that kind of stuff on there, I'd you know, maybe spend a little bit more money. And that kind of brings me to tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video, we are going to be looking at this right here. You guys see that? That's the POCO F4. Now, remember this one came in between $200 and $300, which is just crazy for a cell phone in general. This one, Canadian, coming in between $500 and $700, depending on the configuration. So if you're looking at a phone like this, for instance, for let's say $300, $250, but you're capable of spending $500, which really, again, in regards to cell phones, is still super budget friendly, this may be a better option. Remember the numbers that came up on this video? Write them down, jot them down somewhere. We're going to do the exact same tests for this phone tomorrow. All right, guys, that's it for today. This is the POCO C40. This is their budget entry level. You know, I need a phone for whatever it is. It may be a good phone for you. It may not. Leave your comments below. Let us know. And that's it for today. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the little notification bell. Again, we'll be doing this phone tomorrow. Later, my friends.